Welcome to the Restricted Handling Podcast. This is what's been going on in China in the past 24 hours. Let's start in Hong Kong, where the fallout from Jimmy Lai's conviction is spreading fast. Yesterday, we talked about Lai, the 78-year-old founder of Apple Daily, who got nailed with national security and sedition charges in a marathon, 855-page verdict that all but erased what was left of Hong Kong's judicial independence. Today, we've got the global reaction and the political aftershocks. Trump just confirmed he personally asked Xi Jinping to consider releasing Lai during their October meeting in South Korea. That's right, the former president of the United States, back in office, making a direct appeal to Beijing over a British citizen in Chinese custody. Trump called Lai's imprisonment heartbreaking, saying the tycoon's not well and that we'll see what happens, which is classic Trump. Part sympathy, part deal-making teaser. Beijing, of course, dismissed it as foreign interference, and Hong Kong's chief executive John Lee doubled down, calling Lai's actions a threat to national security. Meanwhile, Lai's family and supporters are rallying. His daughter Claire spoke in Washington, saying her father's health is deteriorating after nearly 5 years in solitary confinement. Rights groups are calling the conviction the death of free speech. What's new here is how Western capitals are handling it. The UK summoned China's ambassador for the second time this week, and US lawmakers are openly discussing sanctions on Hong Kong officials involved in the case. Even Lai's old newsroom colleagues, many now exiled in Taiwan, say the verdict only deepens their resolve to keep covering Hong Kong. They've set up a new media outlet called Pulse HK in Taipei, running on crowdfunding and caffeine. The message? You can silence a paper, not the people behind it. Now, if you thought the Hong Kong story was the week's main event, China's maritime forces had other plans. We've got a new twist in that South China Sea standoff we mentioned yesterday. Over the weekend, the Philippine Coast Guard confirmed that Chinese ships didn't just hit Filipino fishermen with water cannons, they also cut their anchor lines, leaving boats adrift near Sabina Shoal. 3 fishermen were injured, 2 boats seriously damaged, and the Philippines has lodged a formal diplomatic protest. Defense Secretary Gilberto Teodoro isn't mincing words. He called Beijing's actions dangerous and inhumane. Beijing's foreign ministry fired back, claiming the response was lawful and restrained. But that's hard to square with the videos Manila just dropped. High-pressure blasts hitting small wooden boats like something out of a disaster movie. Washington immediately backed the Philippines, saying these provocative acts violate international law. The State Department even reminded everyone that the U.S.-Philippines Mutual Defense Treaty covers attacks on public vessels, including Coast Guard ships. So, if Beijing keeps pushing, this could go from tense to combustible fast. And while the Chinese Coast Guard was making waves, the People's Liberation Army, Navy, was doing flyovers. Japan's defense ministry confirmed that China's aircraft carrier Liaoning finished a week of drills near Okinawa, launching more than 260 fighter sorties. It's the same carrier we talked about yesterday, but here's the update. Satellite imagery now shows China's newest supercarrier, the Fujian, leaving port in the South China Sea. That means China's running 3 active carriers at once. The Japanese self-defense forces called the exercise unusual in scale, while Beijing accused Tokyo of harassment. The irony's thick enough to cut with a sword. To make things spicier, the U.S. still has the USS George Washington patrolling in the region. So you've got Chinese and American carriers shadowing each other in the Pacific. One senior Japanese defense analyst put it best. This is no longer muscle flexing, it's choreography. Both sides know exactly where the line is, and both are daring the other to step over it. Now, shift gears to Taiwan, because they're not waiting for Beijing to make the first move. Taiwan's defense ministry just released a new operational plan, allowing every unit to act immediately in case of a sudden Chinese attack. No waiting for orders, no command bottleneck. They're calling it distributed control, which is basically military speak for, if we get hit, we hit back. Fast. It's the clearest sign yet that Taipei's preparing for the possibility that China's exercises could flip into actual combat with no warning. Taipei says the frequency and scale of China's drills have been rising every year, and they're right. Just this month, 4 Chinese Coast Guard vessels sailed into Taiwan's restricted waters near Kinmen with their transponders turned off. Taiwan's Coast Guard ran parallel escorts to push them out. That's the kind of low-grade provocation that keeps everyone's nerves shot. The island's defense minister will face lawmakers this week to explain how this new decentralized defense posture fits into the broader strategy. Beijing's already accusing Taiwan's government of peddling war anxiety. Translation: we're the ones making you nervous. Don't make us look bad for it. Inside China, the security state's running a new kind of campaign. The Ministry of State Security warned that foreign spies are using online games and anime to erode youth values. Yeah, you heard that right. According to Beijing, intelligence agencies are recruiting through video games and cartoons, turning teenagers into ideological saboteurs. The MSS claims these foreign narratives spread extreme individualism and historical nihilism, which apparently means telling kids that history is complicated. They even cited a case of a student allegedly inspired by a game to plan violence after forming an online alliance. Their answer? More censorship, more patriotic education, and tighter control over youth platforms. Orwell would be impressed. And while the Ministry of State Security's worried about anime, the Texas Attorney General's worried about TVs. Ken Paxton just sued 5 major manufacturers, including Chinese companies Hisense and TCL, for allegedly spying on users through smart TV technology that captures screenshots every half second. He called it an invisible digital invader. China's companies say it's for user customization. Sure, and TikTok's just a dance app. In Missouri, Attorney General Catherine Hanaway is still getting swarmed by a pro-China bot network after she tried to seize $24 billion in Chinese assets over COVID-19 damages. Investigators traced the disinformation to over 100 fake accounts running on Beijing time, all attacking her credibility. It's a new frontier. Digital harassment as statecraft. Hanaway says she's undeterred. Given Beijing's online history, from flooding Twitter with fake accounts during COVID to running influence campaigns against critics, this looks like business as usual. Amid all this tension, a brief moment of cooperation. China just announced it seized 430 kilograms of cocaine at the port of Shenzhen, acting on a tip from the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration. No details, no photos, no suspects named, just a quiet thank you for the intel. It's a small reminder that even during the worst diplomatic chill, these two giants still exchange information when it suits them. Meanwhile, the global economic front's heating up. The United States just rolled out Pax Silica, a new alliance aimed at securing AI and semiconductor supply chains. The goal? Keep China from dominating the technologies of the future. The initiative's being described as a new golden era of cooperation among allies. In Brussels, the EU's foreign policy chief, Kaja Kallas, backed that message, saying China's weaponizing economic ties for political gain. She called on Europe to strengthen its trade defenses because no single country can match China on its own. That's diplomatic speak for, we've finally realized we're in a tech Cold War. And back in Beijing, the Ministry of National Defense is still fuming at Japan. They accused Tokyo of hyping up China's regular training and told Japan to face its history of aggression. That's the standard line whenever Beijing gets caught pushing boundaries. Invoke World War II, play the victim, and tell everyone else they're the real aggressors. It's an old script, but they're still running it. Thanks for being a part of the RH community. Subscribe, leave a positive comment or 5-star review, and most importantly, help build our network by sharing this.